All right, welcome back to my life offset. As you can see, I've got a little bit of a different setup today. I've got my fish going in the background. It's a screen. They're not actual fish. Well, they are actual fish. They're just not actual fish here in my living room. But they bring me a sense of happiness. So there they are. Obviously, as I cut this, it's not going to sync up. So be it. I'm probably going to be a little bit lower energy. And the reason for that is because of anxiety, a little bit of depression too. Those two tend to go hand in hand for me. And my point here is not to bring you guys down. In fact, I'm sure if you're watching this, you might be dealing with a little bit of it yourself. My point is to actually share with you some of the coping mechanisms that I use to help bring myself back up. And of course, it depends on what I'm dealing with. Anxiety definitely has a place in my life. It's not necessarily always a bad thing. It can be very helpful. But other times it is a total waste of my time. It gets in the way, brings me down, and I'm sure you guys have all been there. Hard to get out of bed. So a couple of things that when I know that, let's start that again. Emotions are important. We all need to feel them. And sometimes feeling sad, absolutely, it is the best possible thing for you. You need to be in that space and feel sad and feel your emotions, whatever else is going on. That is not a bad thing. Stay there. Experience it. You need to do that because if you push it down, then what can happen is the anxiety comes back up. I'm sure lots of people know this. But for me, what can happen is, and if you're my Facebook friend, you probably saw my status recently, I can just get overwhelmed by things in the world. A lot of negativity. There's a piece of me that feels like I need to solve those things, and I get overwhelmed by the fact that I can't. It's a huge world. I get it. Except every once in a while, my brain will not turn off, and all I can do is go through solutions of ways to make the world better. I guess there's probably worse things that can happen to a person in their life, but I can get overwhelmed with that, and then I feel small, and then I bring myself down. And then those old core beliefs that I have, some other people may also have them, about not being good enough, feeling worthless, not loved. All of those things creep up to help bring me down a little bit further. So again, my point is not to bring all you lovely folks down. It's to share with you some of my coping mechanisms. And one of those is the fish. I like bright colors, and watching them makes me happy. So if I find myself in a place where I recognize that I am anxious, I'm overwhelmed, depressed, these are some of the things that I try to do to bring myself back up. A lot of the times when I'm down, my base level of taking care of myself shuts off. So things like I need to eat, I need to have something to drink. I'm not, it's like all those child things that you instinctively will parent yourself to do. For me, I find that they turn off. So then I'm feeling like crap and also not doing the things to help myself feel better. So when I recognize that I'm in this space, I have to make a choice. Not to be happy. The choice isn't do I be happy or not. The choice is what are 3 things that I can do right now to help myself. And these are small things because in those moments I need to keep it small. So not like, oh, I need to finish this project, or, oh, I have to do my taxes. Keep it simple. I need a glass of water. I'm going to go get a fuzzy blanket. That's comforting for me. I'm going to take my medication or my vitamins or whatever it is that I have established are good things for me in my life. Doing those basic 3 things will help me establish that foundation that's going to help pull me up out of this spiral of that I'm in. And one of the other things that I find that is really helpful, and I want to share with you, for me, is this book that I've been reading, and it's called The Power of Myth with Joseph Campbell. Maybe some of you have actually already read it or have seen the television series that came out, I think it was in the 80s. Just it's an interview with a man named Joseph Campbell. If you know nothing about Joseph Campbell, I highly recommend it. For me, reading this book or reading some of his thoughts is like I find I get put back together a little bit. If I could imagine myself when I'm anxious or depressed, like if you've ever played Jenga, you know, and but the tower's like super tall and so many pieces have been taken out and it's really wobbly and it's gonna like fall over at like any second. That's me when I'm really anxious or depressed. I feel like at any moment I'm gonna just collapse and I'm full of like holes. It's an awful feeling. Going through and reading some of these chapters or even a page, for me, I find it puts me back together. It's like a restructuring. Maybe it happens in my mind, maybe it happens in my soul. I have no idea. But what it does do is I find it gives me a ground, a foundation, and then I can go about my day. And then usually because I'm going about my day, I'm happier because I'm not moping in bed anymore. So a little bit of story time for everybody here. I'm going to read you just the first page of this book, Joseph Campbell, The Power of Myth. And again, I'm not trying to sell you anything here. You can totally make your own choices if you were to pick this book up and what you believe, what you don't believe. I know I do, but there is an essence to it that speaks to something in me, and I'm hoping it speaks to you as well. Myth and the Modern World, Chapter 1. People say that what we're all seeking is a meaning for life. I don't think that's what we're really seeking. I think that what we're seeking is an experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on the purely physical plane will have resonances within our own innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. Moyers, why myths? Why should we care about myths? What do they have to do with my life? My first response would be, go on, live your life. It's a good life, you don't need mythology. I don't believe in being interested in a subject just because it's said to be important. I believe in being caught by it somehow or other. But you may find that with a proper introduction, mythology will catch you. And so, what can it do for you if it does catch you? One of our problems today is that we are not well acquainted with the literature of the spirit. We're interested in the news of the day and the problems of the hour. It used to be that the university campus was a kind of hermetically sealed off area where the news of the day did not impinge upon your attention to the inner life and to the magnificent human heritage we have in our great tradition. Plato, Confucius, the Buddha, Goethe, and others who speak of the eternal values that have to do with the centering of our lives. When you get to be older and the concerns of the day have all been attended to, and you turn to the inner life, well, if you don't know where it is or what it is, you'll be sorry. Okay, so that was the first page of the first chapter of Joseph Campbell, The Power of Myth. I apologize for the abrupt stop there. My cell phone is currently taped to a mug on top of a Kleenex box, on top of a Paderno box, on top of a hamper. So it's not overly stable right now, but hopefully I'll be getting my new Amazon order soon. I have a little octopus stand coming and a selfie light, so that should help with all of this. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, even though it doesn't feel like it at times, and God, I know, the world is full of love. You are not alone, and you are a part of that love. All right, kids, that's it. Take care. Don't forget your 3 things. Whatever those 3 things happen to be, make it simple. Help yourself, help others, be kind. We'll end with a quote from The Help. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Peace.